Okay, so welcome everyone to the second in our series of Thursday 30 training sessions. We've got Jim from Scanning Pens this week, and he's going to give us an overview of what the pens are and what you can do with them. Okay, so I'll hand over to Jim. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you for the introduction. So, as mentioned, I'm Jim. I work for Scanning Pens, and I'm the secondary and independent school manager for the whole of the UK. I'm also dyslexic, and you may hear me give a few kind of my own experiences. This is because I've seen the pen before, and I like to talk about how this can help individuals with dyslexia, ADHD, and all the other kind of aspects that come along with it. So what I'm going to do today is share my screen with you, and then if you've got any questions, please feel free to ask me at the end. So I'll just share my screen, and I'll provide everybody with a copy of my presentation. So I will share that with Mary, who can share that with everybody who's joined today or who is watching the recording. So we'll jump straight into the devices. But firstly, before I do that, I just want to share with you something which is our charity-based organisation, and that's called Succeed with Dyslexia. Succeed with Dyslexia is basically a platform created by our company. So it's a charity-based organisation that is used to highlight what dyslexia is. Lots of people are joining. Shall I wait a second or shall I carry on? Shall I carry on? Perfect. Okay. I'll carry on.
That's fine. Thank you.
No problem. So Succeed with Dyslexia is basically a charity-based organisation, so we make no money from this, and it's just basically a platform to allow individuals to really understand what dyslexia is, or if you are dyslexic yourself, you can go on, have a talk with other people, share your stories, and just gain some fantastic knowledge and experience. We currently have a campaign, you may be involved, and it's called Go Red. So the dreaded red colour, we are turning that round and we're turning it into a positive. And that positive is to light up buildings red, wear a red t-shirt, and it's all about raising awareness for Dyslexia Awareness Month this October. So you can find some more information on that on succeedwithdyslexia.co.uk. And I'll share that link with Mary today as well. You can share with anybody who's joined today or with anybody who's watching the recorder later on. So let's talk about the devices. So a lot of you have either seen the pens, you've got some pens already. I always like to go through the core basics of the device first. So what does the pen actually do? So the device scans over printed resources. So it will scan over a word, a line, or several lines at once, and then it will start to read aloud to you via the headphones. So as you scan over, it then scans that word and it gives you that reading accuracy. So it's all about kind of, you're reading along, you get stuck on that word, you can then scan over with it. But you can also use our device to scan over several lines at once and then have it read aloud back to you. So our device will read up to 6-point to 24-point text size, so quite large text as well, which is fantastic for those students with reading difficulties, visual impairment, for example. And it's also great for coloured overlays and coloured text. I know it's great when you're using coloured overlays. I've used them myself before, and the pen has no problem with scanning over those as well. It will work with majority of fonts, but it doesn't like cursive or artistic fonts, so it struggles to pick those up. But your standard fonts that it uses, it will scan over and read aloud to you. There's no Wi-Fi or Bluetooth requirement on our device either, so it's a completely portable device used to scan over the text. And you can be anywhere in the school, which makes it fantastic if you are using it for examination purposes, for example. We also have a built-in battery on our pen. But the thing with the built-in battery, which I always like to highlight with anybody that I talk to about my pens, is that it takes 2 to 3 hours to charge, and it gives you 8 to 9 hours battery life. If you are using the device, there is a fantastic feature called auto shutdown. So what auto shutdown will allow you to do is it will actually pause for it. So it will shut down after half an hour, but you can also set it in your settings to go up to 4 hours as well. So you have half an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Obviously, this is great because it conserves the battery life, but obviously if you only have it on half an hour, you may be doing exams and then suddenly it switches off when you go to pick it up, which may be quite a barrier or quite distracting for students. So you can go in and change this and it will save on your pen. We also like to say that our pens are distraction free because I believe it creates that independence and confidence for them. They can use this device by themselves with their headphones plugged in as part of their normal way of working, but also in everyday lessons as well. And I know some of you, speaking to you, some of you today, you may not do exams, but you may also do exams. So I will cover all of these different aspects for you. So we do have other devices available, and these are the other devices. I know the guys at CENMAC have majority of the ReaderPen. So the ReaderPen is your kind of device that can be used for everyday use. So this isn't really designed for examination purposes. So this has a dictionary on, it has a dictaphone, and it has 8 GB storage on there. So this is more for you're in your lesson, you just want to access the curriculum, you can scan over that word, that line or several lines, and then have it read aloud using the different exciting features on there. But this wouldn't be used for exams. Whereas the other device, the middle one, the ExamReader, which is easily identifiable as well because it's completely bright orange. So you can go around, yeah, they're using the ExamReader, perfect, okay. So the ExamReader has no dictionary on, it has no dictaphone, and it has no storage facility on there. So this device would purposely just be used for examinations only. So that's the main difference between them. And then we have the LingoPen. So the LingoPen is more for translations for EAL students. I'll just mention the languages. So it has French, Spanish, Italian, German, Chinese, Russian, and an Arabic download. So it will actually translate between the words, and it also has a bilingual dictionary on there as well to help support. So firstly, let's talk about the ReaderPen, the device that I know CENMAC have a lot of these devices, and I always like to talk about this pen because I feel it's one of the most exciting devices because it has all of those added features on there. But did you know you can personalize this pen as well to help support students? So what I mean by this is when you click into text reader, you'll see that it says menu at the top. So when you click into menu, it brings up a quick set guide. So what you can do with this device is not only can you scan over the text, but you can also personalize it by slowing down the voice that speaks back to you. So as default, the voice will speak at speed 0. But if you go into speed and volume, you can actually select this up to speed 5. And what this allows you to do is slow down that voice so it becomes a more natural, more fluent voice. But also what it does is those students with that slow processing that just need things broken down for them can change the speed that the voice speaks back to you. So I would recommend at around speed 3 as the maximum to change the speed. We also have word pause and punctuation pause. And I'm also going to provide you at the end with documents, which is a free PDF to download on how to access these settings today. So all of this will be provided. So firstly, word pause. What does it do? So it will pause between each individual word up to 5 seconds. And again, I would suggest around speed 3 as your maximum speed. So as soon as you select speed 3, as you scan over a line or a line, it will start to break the sentence down. It will start to pause between each individual word. And what's great about our pens is the voice. We've moved away from this kind of Americanized voice. We now have a British accent. We have an Irish, a Scottish. So we really started to, as much as possible, make the voice more natural sounding as much as we can. Obviously, without it having kind of tone and meaning. So obviously for exams. What's great about the text reader settings as well is that you can go in and you can select something called auto read. So you may notice that students need more than one line or more than one word read aloud back to them, which is absolutely fine because what this allows you to do is scan over a line, scan the next line or even the next line, and it won't read aloud back to you until you press that middle button. So it actually allows you to gain some kind of control, and you actually are able to read a whole paragraph in one go. So it doesn't automatically start to read back to you that way. And that's called auto read, which you can select off or on. So if it's off, it won't automatically read to you. If it's on, as you scan the line, it will automatically start to read aloud back to you. So that's the text reader function and all of the settings that you can personalize. With the text reader function, all of those settings are on the ExamReader as well as the ReaderPen. We also have a dictionary facility on there. So within the dictionary, you can actually go into the Collins or the Oxford Primary Dictionary. You can scan a word, and what this allows you to do is look up the different definitions of the words. So you can actually hear them aloud, and you can see it on the pen at the same time. You can go from the Collins, more difficult, to the Oxford Primary, which is more simplified definitions. It's a fantastic feature that really allows you to gain access to new vocabulary. And again, this is promoting independence. What I also like about the dictionary mode is that you can go in and you can click on history. So you just click menu again at the top whilst you're in the dictionary mode. And in there, it'll say history. And at the top, all this does is it saves all of the dictionary definitions that you've looked up, and you can actually go back in and refer back to them. It's a great way for a student to go back if they've forgotten the definition, like I would, for example, and then listen back to it again and again and again. So that's the dictionary modes. We're now moving into some of the more kind of complex kind of features on the device. So if you weren't aware, the ReaderPen also has an 8 GB storage on it. So the 8 GB storage is basically like a USB pen, where you can save text or files onto this device as a USB storage facility. There's a USB cable provided where you can actually plug in your device and upload this text to the computer screen. So if you do have other software facilities, and I always talk about this because I feel it's really important that we bridge and create that link between other software facilities, because some work for some others and the ReaderPen might not work. So there's always different ways in using it, and you can actually capture data and then upload it to your computer screen using our device, which again is a really powerful, really exciting feature to use our device. And that's called scan to file. You can even save the text, listen back to it later on. You can edit, you can delete it. So all of these features are great for our pens. And then finally, we have the recorder facility. This is where you can record voice clips as like a dictaphone or kind of a voice recorder. So great for those ADHD students, autism, you know, those auditory learners that just want to record a voice clip, record kind of the teacher speaking, and then you can listen back to it later on. So it's just basically a portable dictaphone, a great way again of using the device. I would highly suggest as well going to our website, which is called readerpen.co.uk. On here, you'll find some fantastic case studies, research and videos online. So on there, you can also find all of our free resources, but to save you the trouble, I will send the direct link where you can download our free resources to help with training and implementation of our pens. So that's the ReaderPen in a nutshell. And what I wanted to cover as well, and I know some of you in the room today may look and think, well, I don't need the ReaderPen. Actually, I want to hear about the ExamReader, or I need the ReaderPen only. But I always like to go through the devices, and I'll talk about the ExamReader as well. So the ExamReader has no settings on it. This is specifically designed for examination purposes only. So it has no dictionary, no dictaphone, no storage. So this device is JCQ approved with no access arrangements. So anybody can use this pen as long as it's part of their normal way of working. So it falls under the umbrella of the JCQ guidelines. So it's falls under like the key skills examinations, and basically it also falls under all of the other exams there as well. It can be used in the reading section of the English exam, and can be part of those access arrangements. So no Form 8, no file note, no standardized reading test, anybody can use this pen as long as it's part of their normal way of working. As I mentioned, all of those settings, those facilities, those features, all of that is on our exam reader. So the word pause, auto read, the languages. So we have other languages on there that are listed there, but they don't translate. They just help with pronunciation of the words. And we also have other accents as well. So you can go into there and kind of change these accents to really help and personalize the device. So in terms of the features, the benefits, that's all of it covered for you in terms of the ReaderPen and the exam reader. I'm now going to move into our survey, which I'll share with yourself, Catherine, because you mentioned it earlier. This is a survey that we did 2 years ago, which just looked at how teachers are using the pen, the current kind of study, and all of the fantastic feedback that we've received. So I'll share all of this with you guys today, so you can just see how these pens are really helping to support students, not only in exams, but also in the classroom as well. So you've probably seen this. I know the guys at CENMAC do have some of our resources already, but what these resources really are here for are to help support you and the students as much as possible, to give you that best understanding and best knowledge on our devices. So it shows you how to hold the pen, the angle you should be holding it at, the type of words that you should be scanning over, how to get into left and right-handed mode, how to scan the line, even strategies for using our pen. So this is a completely free downloadable PDF that you can use, and it's a great way of using our pen as well. We even have a diagram of the pen, so how to access all of the settings and features. It even has all of the read settings that you can select for yourself as well. So you've got word pause, punctuation pause. So I've spoke about them today. But on this diagram, it shows you how to actually access them. So how do you access them? How do you use them? This diagram will give you all of that in one go. So you can actually select it, say, fantastic, I know how to access these features now. And this is all in this free implementation guide. We also have further resources. So I'll send you the direct link of even a picture version of how to turn the pen on, how to scan with it. And I really like this guide because sometimes instead of having words, it's just great to have pictures because it's more simplified, it's easier. And being dyslexic, if I've got something just splodged on the page with text, like lots of text, I tend not to read it because I find it difficult and I just move on. So that's where like a picture kind of diagram is great for me. It may not be great for somebody else, but it's great for me and it's great for other students, I can imagine as well, and teachers who just want something simplified and easy to help set up the device for you. So all of this is on our free website. So this link just there, and I'll send that across to you guys at the end. So I'm getting near the ends and I'll open the floor for questions. But we do offer free trials to schools. So anybody who isn't a customer of ours, you can get a 30-day free trial for the school. That's up to 3 devices. So you could have 2 exam, 1 reader, or you could have 3 reader pens. You could have a LingoPen. It's entirely up to you, but do get in touch if you are interested in the 30-day trial. We feel because our device is kind of a hardware solution that you need that support, you need to see it in your hands, and you need to be using it as much as possible to really gain any advantage and know how this can help support. We also have a great YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/scanningpens. We've got some fantastic past webinars that we've done around the pens with guest speakers on. So you can go to there and have a look at all of the webinars, and all of our content is available to you on there. So I want to keep it quite short, but nice and sweet. So it kind of just covers everything off and also gives time for questions as well.
Brilliant. I think, in fact, one of my first questions you've just answered, because I was going to ask about the YouTube channel. So I remember seeing lots of really nice little video clips of students using the pens.
Yeah.
On there. Do you still
Absolutely.
have those? Yeah.
Yeah, we have lots of those. We have demos from myself as well. So I've done a unboxing video of the pen being used because people want to see the pen, don't they? They want to see it being used. So we've got all of that information on our website as well.
Maureen's just put a question up in the chat. She says, do students lose any spag marks if they use the pen in exams?
Yeah, of course. Great question. So at primary level, so we're obviously talking SATs, I assume. Is that correct? Talking SATs?
I think so, yeah.
You can't, yeah, we can't use it in the reading section, so the English exam, GCSE. Okay, brilliant. So you can use the device. It doesn't matter at GCSE level. You will not lose marks, so you can use it across all examinations at GCSE. And the reason for that is, Maureen, is because the device doesn't give meaning, or it doesn't give tone to any of the questions, so it isn't interpreting the question. Whereas if you were to use it, say, at SATs level, you are being asked about reading ability, whereas at GCSE level, it's more about the interpretation of the question, which the pen can't do. It can't interpret a question. It just reads it. So yes, you can use it and you won't lose marks.
Cool. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you. I just wondered as well, with the voice recorder option, so how much audio will that record?
I mean, with the 8 GB storage, you're probably talking 10 hours or even longer than that. So you've got more than enough room to kind of record whatever you like, and you can delete anyway to make space.
Okay. So students can actually like record the whole of a lecture or a session or something?
Absolutely, yeah. It's probably more than 10. It would be like ages and ages and ages, because a video, a voice recording takes barely any space.
Mm-hmm. Are there any questions from anyone else who's on the call? You can type them into the chat if you want to, or you can just unmute yourselves and ask your questions if you have one.
There will be a recording, and there will be some free resources that I'll send out to everybody as well, and information on the trial for anybody who hasn't got the pens.
Oh, fantastic, thank you. Just one more question from me, actually. I wondered about, you mentioned some training materials. So do you have, I know in the primary version, they have some kind of things that students can scan over and like look for answers and things. Do you have something similar? Yeah.
I do, yeah, for secondary, yeah, we have something similar. We're just releasing the secondary implementation guide. So that'll be available to everybody. That'll probably be available at the TES show, but I can send you some guides now that we have available.
Oh,
which
wonderful.
is more age appropriate as well for some people.
Yeah, cool, thank you.
No problem at all. Has anyone else got any questions, or are we all good?
Yeah, I can't see anything else in the chat there, so.
Perfect.
That's all okay. Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you ever so much for doing the session.
No problem at all. Thank you ever so much for organising it.
Really helpful, thank you.
No problem, thank you.
Okay, I'll stop recording there and people can leave. There we go.
Thank you, guys.